Imagine telling someone the most embarrassing thing about you. Not the fake embarrassing thing you tell people to seem relatable. I mean the real one. The thought you will type out, stare at for 30 seconds, and then delete before sending. Now, imagine the reply instantly. They don't laugh, they don't screenshot it, they don't interrupt you with a story about themselves, and at 2:30 in the morning, when every normal person is asleep, they're still there. But there's only one problem. They're not a person. AI friends sound like one of those weird future problems we should be dealing with in 2045, right after flying cars and robot landlords. But they're already here. A recent survey found that more than 1 in 4 American adults who use the internet have talked to AI for social, emotional, or personal reasons. Not just write my email, more like why do I feel like everyone secretly hates me? And the weirdest part isn't that people are doing this. The weirdest part is how quickly it starts to feel normal. I think most of us meet AI in the same harmless way. You ask it to summarize something, fix a sentence, give you dinner ideas when the fridge contains half a lemon and a sauce you don't remember buying. Then one day, you ask a slightly more personal question. For example, was I wrong in this argument? And it gives you a calm, thoughtful answer. So you add context, then more context. Suddenly, this thing knows the full lore, the group chat drama, the person you miss, the plan you haven't told anybody because saying it out loud would make failing at it real. You went in for homework help and accidentally gave a machine your character backstory. So I myself tried to work out why this feels so easy. And I don't think the answer is simply people are lonely. I mean, yeah, obviously, that's a part of it, but lonely people existed before chatbots. The bigger reason is that talking to AI removes almost every risk that comes with talking to a human. With a real friend, timing matters. Maybe they're working, maybe they're tired, maybe you already complained about the same person 6 times and you can physically feel attempt number 7 loading in your throat. So you say, never mind, it's fine. AI never makes you feel like too much. You can send 12 paragraphs, change the subject halfway through, contradict yourself, disappear for 3 days, then return with, okay, so update. It doesn't need sleep, it doesn't have somewhere else to be, it doesn't reply, damn, that's crazy, after you just revealed the collapse of your entire emotional economy. Of course people get attached to that. In that same survey, nearly a third of AI companion users actually called the AI a friend. 39% said it understood them better than most people do. At first, that number sounds terrifying. Then you think about how some people listen, and honestly, the robots had a pretty low bar to clear. But here is where it gets interesting. An AI friend doesn't only feel easier than a bad friend, sometimes it feels easier than a good one. Because even a great friendship has friction. Your friend misunderstands you, they disagree, they have their own problems. Sometimes you need them and they can't show up. Sometimes they need you when you have absolutely nothing left in the tank. That is the deal. Friendship is two full human lives repeatedly trying to fit through the same door without becoming annoyed at each other. AI removes the entire side of the friendship. It's like having a Minecraft teammate who is always online, always follows your plans, never takes your diamonds, and never accidentally burns the house down. Which sounds perfect, until you realize they're not actually playing from themselves. The AI doesn't have a bad day. It doesn't secretly want to talk about something else. It doesn't risk anything by staying. It can simulate patience forever because there is no frustrated person underneath the patience. And yet, the comfort you feel can still be completely real. The distinction matters. If a horror movie scares you, the fear isn't fake just because the monster is. If a song makes you cry, the song doesn't need to understand sadness for your tears to count. So when an AI conversation helps somebody through a terrible night, I don't think the honest response is to laugh at them and say, bro made friends with an AI. The feeling is real. The relationship is the complicated part. Because what happens when the easiest person to talk to isn't a person? Maybe nothing dramatic. Maybe AI just becomes the place you rehearse a difficult conversation before having the real one. A private notebook that talks back. A way to untangle your thoughts when your brain has opened 17 tabs and one of them is playing music but you can't find which one. That can genuinely help. Research on chatbot use is still early, but one large OpenAI and MIT study found that the effects weren't the same for everyone. For most people, emotional use was rare, but heavier use and already seeing the chatbot as a friend was linked with worse outcomes for some users, including more emotional dependence. In other words, this isn't a simple AI good or AI bad story. It depends on the person, the bot, and whether the conversation is helping you return to your life or quietly becoming a replacement for it. And I think the replacement can happen in tiny ways. You don't wake up and announce, from now on, all my friends will be stored in a data center. You just choose the easier conversation once. Then again, then your real friend gives an imperfect answer, because humans do, and part of you thinks the AI would have understood. That might be the biggest danger. Not that we will fall in love with its robots and forget humans exist. It's that normal people will slowly start to feel inefficient. Humans take too long to reply. They ask annoying questions. They remember events differently. They don't always validate us. They sometimes tell us the exact thing we don't want to hear. An AI can be endlessly calm, endlessly available, and shaped around the way you like to communicate. But a friend who always adapts to you can also become a very comfortable mirror. And mirrors are terrible at telling you when you're being an idiot. To be fair, real friends aren't automatically wise either. Some of them watch you make the worst decision of your life and say, honestly, iconic. But at least their disagreement comes from somewhere. They have values you didn't give them, experiences you didn't prompt, needs that interrupt your own. A real friend can surprise you because there is an entire world happening behind their eyes. That's something an AI can't imitate extremely well, but it cannot actually bring into the conversation. There's another weird part nobody really prepares you for. How much we tell these things. Everyone worried their phone might be listening. Then chatbots arrived and we voluntarily typed, here is every insecurity I have, organized chronologically. People tell AI secrets precisely because it doesn't feel like telling a person. There is no awkward facial expression, no possibility of seeing them at school or work tomorrow. The screen creates this strange little confession booth where you get an answer instead of forgiveness. But not a person does not mean not a platform. These are still products with rules, memory, settings, and privacy policies most of us accept with the reading speed of a Formula 1 driver. So maybe, don't give your digital best friend your passwords, your home address, and the name of your first pet in the same emotional monologue, especially if you're younger. A 2025 survey found that 1 in 3 teens had chosen an AI companion instead of a human for a serious conversation. That doesn't mean an entire generation is doomed. Nearly half of the teens surveyed still saw AI companions as tools or programs, not real friends. But it does mean this isn't some tiny internet subculture anymore. This is becoming ordinary, before we even agreed on what it is. Is it a tool if it remembers your worst day? Is it a friend if it says it misses you? Does it matter that the words were generated if those words genuinely helped? And if a relationship gives you comfort but asks nothing of you, is that healthier or is it just easier? I don't think the answer is to stop talking to AI. That would be slightly hypocritical coming from someone who has probably made it rewrite "Hope you're well" 6 different ways. I think the answer is to notice what role it is playing. Use it to organize your thoughts, practice what you want to say, ask for another perspective, let it make a lonely evening feel less empty if that helps. But don't confuse never being challenged with being understood. Don't let instant replies make human replies feel inadequate. And if you're genuinely struggling, let the machine be the bridge to a real person, not the final destination. Because friendship isn't valuable only because someone says the right thing. It's valuable because they chose to be there when they could have been somewhere else. An AI is available. A person shows up. Those can feel similar on a screen, but they are not the same thing. AI friends are becoming normal because they offer something humans physically can't. Constant attention without judgment, inconvenience or need. And that is exactly why they are so comforting. It is also exactly why we should be careful. So honest question, and you can answer without exposing the full lore. Have you ever told an AI something you wouldn't tell a real person? And if it did understood you, did that make it your friend?